DDP just got dominated by Khamzat Chimaev, but all the talk isn't on the performance. Instead, it's on du Plessis' coach Morne Visser and how delusional he is. Before the fight, he was laughing at Chimaev's wrestling. During it, he gave DDP terrible advice, and afterwards was a total mess. He blamed the referee, claimed they'd easily win a rematch, and then admittedly they didn't fully prepare for the grappling. If your main fighter is taking on Khamzat Chimaev, wrestling would surely take up 75% of the training. But it turns out this coach has been under scrutiny for many years now. Many MMA fans think if it wasn't for du Plessis and his abilities, no one would have heard of this coach before. With Dricus du Plessis coming out of South Africa, a country not known for its MMA fighters, his head coach Morne Visser is a bit of an unknown. He's the head coach at the CIT Performance Institute in Pretoria and has been the longtime coach of DDP. Together, they dominated the South Africa MMA scene, made their way to the UFC, and reached the very pinnacle of the sport. And one of their big weapons was DDP's cardio.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
And there's guys, and you know this because you work with Merab, there's guys that reach this level of discipline and they achieve a level of cardiovascular performance that's just above everybody else's, and then they maintain it. Like, they get that advantage and they keep pushing it and they slowly keep adding on to it.
But with these one-fighter type gems, the question always remains, was it just one special fighter who came through the doors and put them on the map, or did the coach help create the world champion? And while we'll truly never know, what we do know is that whatever game plan they had against Khamzat Chimaev, it did not work in the slightest.
This was terrible for Dricus du Plessis, and it's terrible not just because he lost, and then he lost decisively. It's the way in which he lost decisively, which is that he has trouble even with first order takedown defense, and second order, it seems like a distant impossibility.
The most obvious narrative is that du Plessis' grappling got exposed, but realistically, Chimaev has the ability to hold down any middleweight that has ever existed. What really happened is that Dricus du Plessis' coach was the one who got exposed.
This is fixing the problem, not on his toes, not picking up his hands, not kicking when he needs to. So I'll fix him, yeah. Fine. Ian.
In the lead up to the fight, he was extremely vocal about this guy, Chimaev himself, and how the fight would play out.
I've had my eyes on him for a long time, and Dricus is going to finish him on the floor, and he doesn't believe it, he doesn't think it. That's where we want to fight him, on the floor.
He was talking like he had a crystal ball and had already seen the outcome, and his dismissal for someone unbeaten and as dangerous as Chimaev was pretty wild.
This is one of those annoying guys. I mean, I've never had an issue with Easy or any one of the fighters. This guy's just annoying.
Normally, the coaches stay out of the pre-fight talk, and it's rare they make themselves stand out as much as Visser did. In those instances, when the coaches do get involved in the media, it's usually very respectful, focuses on the tactical aspects, and that's about it. But Morne Visser was anything but respectful. He was mocking Chimaev's striking, questioning his mentality, and even acting as one of those strange Twitter body language experts when it came to the face-offs.
You go back to that and you'll see Khamzat has got his hands close to his chest, and Dricus has got his hands over Khamzat's arms. That's right. Yeah, so not a lot of people look at that, but that shows dominance.
Weirdly enough though, it seems like Visser has routinely underestimated Chimaev before, confidently picking Robert Whittaker to beat him when they matched up.
His stand-up is, my opinion, suspect. His wrestling, he couldn't do anything with Usman. And Rob's stand-up's phenomenal. His wrestling and his groundwork's awesome. So I don't think that. I honestly think Khamzat's out of his league case.
That's something he's consistently thought about too, because Visser has flat out said he's not impressed by Chimaev's accomplishments in MMA.
What has he done? I mean, look at he fought Burns, who's a real, actually Gilbert. If Gilbert puts the effort in, he's actually a lightweight. Then Kumaro really gave him a proper run for his money with no preparation on the wrestling side. So that's where we want to fight him.
Bearing in mind, Chimaev is an undefeated monster who's finished the majority of his opponents with absolute ease. Now being impressed by someone like this is either an attempt at mental warfare, a lack of understanding, or total delusion. And based on his pre-fight tactics, it's most likely the latter.
I want to fix this problem because we're going to face Khamzat and I want to destroy him this time.
Most coaches' approach would be to avoid the early takedown at all costs, drag the fight into deep waters, and win in the later rounds on the feet. But the plan from du Plessis' coach was to out-wrestle one of the most frightening grapplers in UFC history. It makes sense for people to want to beat their opponent at their strengths to prove their dominance, but this is just ridiculous. And while Morne Visser isn't the first coach or fighter to talk a big game before the fight just to end up eating their words, it's what happened not only after the fight, but during it that made things 100 times worse. One of the big standouts from the fight wasn't just DDP's inability to get back to his feet, but it was Morne Visser's real lack of technical coaching. After all, if your guy is getting taken down over and over again with ease, it's quite literally your job as a coach to try and give them the information to stop it. Sure, after the first round against Chimaev, you'd survive the storm, and Visser's goal was to keep DDP smiling and feeling positive.
Obviously, with trying to fight somebody who wrestles that hard, your arms pump up quickly. He was 100% okay, and we actually laughed about it, me and him in the corner, because I said to him, okay, this is the best he's got. That he just showed us what he can do, and he's going to keep on trying to do that. And I just didn't think that he will try to do that for 5 rounds.
But as the rounds go on, and it's becoming clear the fight is only heading in one direction, you need to do more than just keep du Plessis' spirits up. Instead though, Visser was telling his fighter that Chimaev will slow down. He did well on the ground and to take the wrestling to the Russian. There was essentially zero advice on how to defend the takedown. No push the head down, get your legs back, dig for underhooks, or any type of the typical guidance you'd see a coach give.
I think after the third, I said to Dricus, okay, we are 3 down now. Do you want to take him down? And he said to me, coach, he's too wet, too slippery. And look, we've learned a lot to go back to.
His lack of coaching was so obvious that the MMA community couldn't help but notice, with some of them even saying once DDP comes and goes, this coach won't be involved in the UFC at the highest level. But his cornering was all evidence that Visser's pre-fight delusion wasn't a ploy. He truly believed that Chimaev couldn't hold DDP down with ease, would tire out, and that Dricus could win the grappling exchanges. And perhaps that's because he's never seen Dricus dominated like that ever before.
You can only learn that from losing like we did. When we trained for it, we had just success, so I thought we were ready.
This is just speculation, but coming out of the gym in Pretoria, DDP is likely the big fish in a relatively small pond. That's why his coach can do wild training challenges like this.
Sometimes coach just rocks up there to training and you can see he either had a great day or a terrible day, and he goes, it's sparring day, 10K for the first knockout. And he's like, Dricus, you're in the middle. And I go, what? Why? Everybody just knows it's going to be one of those days. That day specifically, it happens sometimes. He just comes in and he's like, okay, Dricus, you're in the middle, you're on the wall, 10K for the first guy to take Dricus down.
Or the time he took on 5 Gracie Barra black belts from South Africa back-to-back and submitted them all.
He's a fight that had that connection there.
Yeah, so if Dricus can keep that connection going, oh, beautiful.
He's trying to transition over to the dance there for a second. Oh, Bradley lifted his
very
head.
Deep, eh? Very
deep.
So it's safe to say that at his gym, it's highly unlikely anyone can or ever has manhandled him like Chimaev did. And that probably stunned his coach during the fight and left him shell-shocked. But even so, even basic advice like trying to time a knee or an uppercut as Chimaev comes in would have been better than nothing. After all, it was obvious DDP was going to get taken down no matter what, so he may as well throw some fight-finishing shots and hope for the best. That said though, once the fight was over, the loudest person on social media wasn't Chimaev, it wasn't DDP, but instead it was Morne Visser. And he was straight back to his delusional ways.
I need 12 to 16 weeks, which is like 4 months, 3 to 4 months, to sort this problem out. I don't need fitness, I don't need strength, I don't need conditioning, I don't need to fix his stand-up, I just need to fix this problem. And it's a fixable problem.
If there was ever a time to keep your mouth shut or give props to your opponent, it's after coaching the best fighter in your gym to arguably losing 10-8 in all 5 rounds. But somehow, DDP's coach was still super vocal. One of his big points was blaming the referee Mark Goddard for not standing them up.
But I think when shit goes that slow for 20 seconds, first warning, second warning, 5 seconds later, third, 5 seconds later, stand the fight up, man. That fight was smothered with boringness.
Goddard did in fact stand them up on numerous occasions, but it made quite literally zero difference because Chimaev just threw DDP back down to the floor like a ragdoll within seconds. It's also more on DDP to get back to his feet than Chimaev to do damage, and definitely Visser's responsibility to talk him through the steps to do that. But Visser is wild if he thinks it'll take a few months to bridge the gap in their grappling. It definitely screams denial from his coach, and a refusal to accept perhaps Chimaev is just better in that department of MMA. After all, Chimaev wasn't just a step ahead of Dricus, there was a huge gulf in class between the two.
For Dricus to come back from that and bridge the gap between him and Khamzat, that is a tall task.
Yeah.
It's a tall task because that kind of dominance, that kind of grappling dominance was not just a level, it was multiple levels.
Visser had never seen grappling that elite in his life. He truthfully believed du Plessis couldn't be held down like that and was hit with a rude awakening. And already he's talking about coming back and winning the belt.
There's nothing else. Dricus wants his belt back more than he wanted to get the belt in the first time.
Thankfully, he did admit there was a problem. He acknowledged there was a difference in grappling levels, and they have a bit of work to do. After all, they didn't even train in the crucifix position once.
We've practiced everything except a crucifix. There's just a way that he trapped the arm very high, almost trapped the bicep, tricep, and the shoulder with that crucifix.
But Visser has said he's determined to create a plan to stifle Chimaev if and when they do get the rematch. Of course, this is work they should have done before the fight. We all knew Chimaev was going to shoot inside 10 seconds, hunt for the takedown, and maintain control. But Visser and DDP wrongly believe they could handle it. Perhaps it's the rude awakening the coach needed to accept he hasn't got all the answers. DDP isn't indestructible, and there are better guys out there. The pair may come back stronger in the future, but for now, they've got a lot of practice to get in before they can beat Khamzat Chimaev. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please go and subscribe. We make weekly videos just like this for the MMA community. Thanks again, and we'll catch you in the next video.